Hello, boys and girls. We are on two-step equations, which is 3-5 from your textbook. And our learning target today is I can solve two-step equations. Some things to think about as we're going through this lesson. Think about the ultimate goal in solving an equation. And how can knowing how to solve a one-step equation help you know how to solve a two-step? Okay, so think about these. X minus 4 equals -6, 2x equals 12. Then we have 3x minus 5 equals 13. So what do we know about solving that? That could help us to solve for x. Okay, the steps for solving one-step equations that we should make sure to write down. First, write the equation. Draw your slide or train tracks. And then isolate the variable. So get the variable by itself. First, use the inverse operation to remove the constant from the variable. Okay, so this is the part that's things like the addition or subtraction are used to undo them. Then we isolate the variable by doing the inverse operation to remove the coefficient from the variable. And this is multiplying or dividing. And coefficients are the numbers that are attached, like right in front of the variable. Then we solve for the variable and then check your solution. All right, so here we have our equation, 2x plus 3 equals 9. And we want to solve for x and then check our solution. So our first step, write the equation. We already have it down. Okay, draw your train tracks if you like to separate the different numbers. Okay, now we need to isolate the variable. First, we do the inverse operation of the constant. In this situation, it's the plus 3. Okay? It's the part that is not directly in front of the variable, so it's not the coefficient. And we do so with addition or subtraction. So since we're doing addition, we do the inverse, which is subtraction. Whatever we do to one side, we have to do to the other. Okay, carry down the 2x. 3 minus 3 is 0. Carry down your equal. 9 minus 3 is 6. Now we do the inverse operation of the coefficient, the number right in front of the variable. And since we have multiplication, the inverse of that is division. So we divide each side by 2. Okay, 2 divided by 2 is 1, so we're left with x equals. 6 divided by 2 is 3. Now we do our check. Plug 3 back into the equation. So 2 times 3 plus 3 equals 9. Well, 2 times 3 is 6. 6 plus 3 is 9. That works. So x equals 3. Okay, here are some for you to try on your own and then come back to check. 2x plus 4 equals 10. Okay, so first we do the addition or subtraction part. The inverse of addition is subtraction, so we subtract 4 from both sides. Remember to show all of these steps. 2x equals 10 minus 4 is 6. Now we do the inverse of the multiplication, which is division. X equals 3, and plug this back in as a check. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 plus 4 is 10. Therefore, x equals 3. 3x plus 1 equals 7. Do your addition or subtraction. Subtract 1 from both sides. 7 minus 1 is 6. Divide both sides by 3. The 3's cancel, and you're left with x equals 2. Now we check. 3 times 2 plus 1. 3 times 2 is 6. 6 plus 1 is 7. Again, I expect you to show each individual step like this. That works, so x equals 2. Okay. One thing to know when you are solving two-step equations is that we always start with the addition or the subtraction first and then do the multiplication. So it's kind of going backwards of order of operations. 5 equals 2 plus 3x. Okay, we have this plus 2 right here, so we are going to subtract 2 from both sides. These cancel. 5 minus 2 is 3. Divide both sides by 3. X equals 1. Let's plug that back in to check. Three times 1 is 3. 3 plus 2 is 5. That works. So x equals 1. Okay, here's kind of what I was just saying about order of operations, that in normal order of operations, multiplication comes before the addition. But to undo the operations, like in order to solve for a variable, you reverse the order. So undo the addition first by subtracting, then undo the multiplication by dividing. Okay, here's a couple more to keep practicing. Make sure to check your solution at the end. 3x plus 2 equals 23. Okay, so we have the addition, so we do the inverse of it, which is subtracting. 3x. 23 minus 2 is 21. Divide each side by 3. 21 divided by 3 is 7. Okay, let's check our solution. So 3 times 7 plus 2. 3 times 7 is 21 plus 2. Now, if you were to do your check and the two sides do not equal each other, that means that when you were solving for your variable, something went wrong, and we would need to go back and resolve it. You do not just assume, oh yeah, that's the answer I got, so it must be right. We need to actually check each side that they get the same solution. Okay, negative 2y minus 7 equals 3. Okay, so the inverse of subtraction is addition, so add 7 to both sides. Negative 2y equals 10. Divide both sides by negative 2. 10 divided by negative 2, a positive divided by a negative is a negative. 10 divided by 2 is 5. Let's plug that back into check. Negative 2 times negative 5 minus 7. Well, negative 2 times negative 5, a negative times a negative is a positive 10. 10 minus 7 is 3. That works, so y equals negative 5. Okay, let's keep practicing. The more we practice, the better we get. Okay, so we'll go through, check, or solve it, and then check. I'm going to go a little bit faster. Subtract 4 from both sides. Negative 11 minus negative 4 is a negative 15. Divide each side by 5. R equals negative 3. Plug that back in. 4 plus 5 times negative 3 equals 11. There we go. Oops, and that should be a negative 11. Okay, R equals negative 3. Next one, 4x plus 5 equals 13. Subtract 5 from both sides. 4x equals 8. Oops, divide each side by 4. There we go. X equals 2. Let's plug that back in. 4 times 2 plus 5 equals 13. 8 plus 5. 13 equals 13. Subtract 15 from both sides. Okay, we're left with 8y equals 56. Divide both sides by 8. Y equals 7. 8 times 7 plus 15. Okay, 56 plus 15, that would be 66, 71. Yep, y equals 7. And our last one, negative 3y minus 8 equals 15. Do the opposite of that, which is addition. Negative 3n. 7 plus 8 is 15. Divide both sides by negative 3 to undo the multiplication. 15 divided by negative 3 is a negative 5. Plug that back into check. Okay, negative 3 times negative 5, positive 15 minus 8. 7 equals 7. It does work. Okay, the key concept that we want to remember for solving two-step equations. To solve a two-step equation, like 3x plus 4 equals 16 or 2x minus 1 equals negative 3, first, your first step, undo the addition or subtraction. Second step, undo the multiplication or division. So make sure that you have that written down. Okay. You can go ahead and solve these three if you would like. All right, you can go back and rewatch any part of this video if you're still a little stuck. Look at the examples in your book, watch the tutor videos in the online textbook. Otherwise, go and take your 3-5 NAGCU at this time.